Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 114 of Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships podcast. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me today is a LFC Madness prospect, LFC Madness contestant, Miss Taylor Holly Combs. Taylor, it's a pleasure and a privilege to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I can't complain. I got to say, first and foremost, you were doing your thing in the LFC Madness. We had so many great women of all facets of life, from professional wrestling, modeling. All in all, it was a hell of a tournament. I was glad to see you involved in the tournament.
I was happy to be a part of the tournament. Actually, I was really shocked because I'm a newbie when it comes to combat sports and wrestling. So I was shocked and amazed that I was even able to have the opportunity to be a part of it.
I got to ask you a question first and foremost. I was actually going to say that because Lingerie FC, Lingerie Fighting Championships, folks, we got a mixture of MMA, professional wrestling, but at the same time, we got that sex appeal, and we got beautiful women like Miss Taylor being involved. So I was kind of curious how that really gravitated towards you, and how'd you get involved with the LFC Madness tournament?
So I got involved through Instagram, social media. I stumbled across the Instagram and I was intrigued because I see these beautiful, strong women doing combat sports, and I wanted to be a part of that.
And that's the thing, too. And first and foremost, I love that you put it that way, because in a day and age where women of all combative nature sports, we're talking about boxing, we're talking about mixed martial arts, we're talking about wrestling, it's amazing just to see the empowerment, the beautiful women, the talented women overall really applying their craft. So I got to say, it's kind of like a hand in glove when you look at the LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships product.
Yes, definitely.
And I got to say, first and foremost, now you were in there. You were holding your own. We're talking about Angelica Co, who was the Italian knockout, a beautiful model, beautiful, talented individual from Italy. We're talking about L.A. Rose. We're talking about Monique Dupree, who we've seen with Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore podcast on the acting side of things as well. You were in there with some formidable talent there, Taylor.
I know. And like I said, me being a newbie and stepping into this, not to put myself down, but I didn't expect to get as far as I did. But thank you to everyone who voted for me because you helped me achieve one of my goals to be a part of this tournament.
Now, I got to say, for the future, I'm going to say it to you, Taylor. LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships, we have to see you at a future event, whether it be at Vegas or what have you. You definitely, I got to say, you could put you against anyone on the LFC active roster. I think you would kill it because I've seen a lot of your training, which we'll get into here momentarily. But god dang, man, you got the talent, and you got, I dare I say, the grit, you got the determination, and you got the respect about you. So I got to say, it really goes hand in hand with you, Taylor.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's what I'm trying to put out there into the world. Like, I feel like I just have this fighting spirit. I'm from Philadelphia, a fighting city, and I actually live in the neighborhood where Rocky 1 was shot. So I have to put that out there. I am a fighter and I am meant to be here.
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. I'm a pop culture nerd, so I'm going to get that up a little bit. You're talking about 76 with Rocky 1. I'll bring it into the 2000 with the Millennium. You're about to freak this. You're freaking it like Will Smith when he's running with the crowd, going up to the Rocky statue. I'm going to put you in the Freaking It music video. You ready to freak it is what you're doing, Taylor.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. But yes, pop culture aside, I look at it from a stance with you. Like, what I love about you, Taylor, is you're very multifaceted. Because I got to say, skateboarder, DJ, hey, yo, I'm going to do some wrestling. Hey, yo, I'm going to do some LFC. I really do admire that because you're dipping your toe into many different endeavors.
I'm an artist at the end of the day. So I feel like I'm very adaptable. So put me into any role and I will kill it.
I look at it from a stance, too, first and foremost, and we talk about people voting for you. Man, you got a lot of beautiful imagery out there from your OnlyFans and the social media aspect. You really do. You take a beautiful photo from the modeling side of things. I saw you with your green hair, a little Joker-style type of action, which I got to say, hand in glove, it fits very well. So the imagery really does shine through on you there, Taylor.
Thank you so much. I mean, like I said, it comes from my artist background, and I used to be a cosmetologist. I used to be into doing just broadcasting, and I kind of dabbled into not so much theater, but I kind of got brought into that world in high school, and I'm trying to bring that into the wrestling and LFC world.
I look at it from a stance, too. When it comes to professional wrestling and all combative natures, like you mentioned, the artistry standpoint, professional wrestling is you're telling a story and you're using your bodies. The promo side of things, it's a verbal standpoint. And I got to say, a lot of people need to see it, not just in wrestling, but I think you have the right mindset. Everything in life is an art. You just got to paint that canvas, right?
Absolutely.
Be honest with you, I'm also the kid who I used to come home from school back in the day, and I think a lot of people know where I'm going with this. Man, we had the joy of painting. We had Bob Ross, this dude, and his friggin', you know what I'm talking about, with his hair.
Yeah.
By the end of the 30 minutes, we go from having like a little something on there, and then by the 30 minutes, we got a masterpiece. We got waterfalls and everything. So it really doesn't matter the time that you put in, whether it be 30 minutes, an hour, man. You're going to be creating masterpieces.
Definitely. I mean, that's me. At the end of the day, I am an artist, and I just want to show the world who I am and what I can offer.
Now, I got to say, from the skateboarding side of things, I'm really wanted to dabble into this as well because, man, from the days of Tony Hawk's Underground and the X Game, where we saw people like Dave Mirra, Travis Pastrana really showcase the X Games and Tony Hawk, like I mentioned, the skateboarding side of things, because, man, I could take it back to the early 2000s with Avril Lavigne being the skater boy. She said, "See you later, boy. I'll be here all day." But god dang, Taylor, how did the skateboarding world come into fruition for you? Because, like I said, I've seen a lot of your videos where you showcase the skateboarding. How did you dabble into that?
So it started off way back when I was in middle school in the early 2000s. I found this rinky-dink skateboard somewhere. I believe I found it at school actually, and I just took it and I would go to my local tennis court or basketball courts and I would just practice cruising around the court. And then, I let it go because I thought I wasn't any good. But then once the pandemic hit, I was looking for activities to do by myself. And skateboarding was the answer. So one of my good friends, he's been showing me the ropes, and there's no turning back. It's definitely a part of my life. It's a part of who I am, and I love it. It just makes me feel whole.
I gotta say, I'm gonna put the perspective in here. I'm gonna put that mental picture in here. I'm talking about Disney Plus. You're kind of remind me of Christina Vidal when she was Gabriella in the movie Brink. For those that remember Brink back in the day, from
Yes.
That's what you reminded me of. Or another one, I'll go up one year. You're like Reggie Rocket in Rocket Power, man. You know, the girl of the clique with Otto, we are riders on a mission. You kind of have that little vibe about you. I got to say, I dig it because a lot of people, when it comes to skateboarding, I mean, we see it with Darby Allin now in AEW, but I got to say, to incorporate that, I mean, we saw it back in the early 90s with the Dynamic Dudes with John Laurinaitis and Shane Douglas. But here you are skating, doing your thing. And I like that. It also vibes that extreme vibe about you, too. You know, it's very eclectic because you don't see a lot of people doing that.
Definitely. I mean, it's so weird. It's like you said, I'm multifaceted. It's so weird how I'm merging all these different worlds together, but somehow it fits. I don't know. Like to me, it just feels like it all just connects from the skateboarding, the wrestling, all of that. It just comes together and creates this amazing thing.
Well, if you look at skateboarding, you're riding. You're cruising, like you said. I mean, we all take that ride that is this thing that we call life, Miss Taylor Holly Combs. So, I mean, hey, we're all riding at the end of the day. We're not riding dirty chameleonaire style, but we're riding to a certain extent, you know?
Yeah.
Goodness. So I will say this about you as well, because again, from the skateboarding side of things, now I got to ask, because there's so many different tricks to do. I remember as a kid, Toys R Us before it got taken down. Rest in peace, Toys R Us. I remember seeing a skateboard in the middle of the aisle, man. I tried to do it because, man, this is the brink of the X Games right here. Fell on my ass in the middle of the aisle. I laughed about it. I had a nice little bruise on my buttocks, but hey, that's another story for another time. It happens, you know. You try to be funny as a kid, and you're a little stew not. But I digress. When it comes to skateboarding, tell us about the flips and the tricks that you like to do on there. Is there a favorite flip or trick that really stands out to you? Because you could do so many things with one skateboard and the artistry of it.
So I love just hitting the ramps and riding vert. That's one of my favorite things to do because it feels like you're flying. And then cruising as well. Like when I skate to the store, it feels like I'm just flying. I'm just floating and cruising, and time is just passing by. It's an amazing feeling. And then one of my favorite tricks that I've been practicing as of lately is kind of like a good trick for beginners. It's called a shove it or a pop shove it. I've been practicing that as of lately, and I almost landed it today. I hope to land it one day. But yeah, my favorite trick is the shove it.
Okay, first and foremost, as soon as you said that, I was okay. As soon as you said shove it, I went another direction. But I look at it from a stance too. There's a lot of great extreme moves, and I gotta say, for those that have not seen the shove it, because I believe you did perform in one of those videos, it's amazing.
Yes.
Just not the great names that are come up with in the 540s and different directions that you could spin and ride, but it really does incorporate that adrenaline rush, to put it bluntly. It's that adrenaline rush.
Yes, definitely. That's absolutely what it is. It's like the adrenaline rush. It makes me feel more alive.
That's how you have to look at it. I'll be honest with you. When you look, I mean, I'll take it back to the high school days because I was the kid in high school and middle school that got along with everybody, right? Like, here's the thing. Like, when you're in the skateboarding crowd, people look at you and I'm just like, okay, it's that type of thing. Oh, they just skate and stuff. I'm like, you know what? If they're riding, not hurting anybody, they're skating, just let them do their thing because we all have our different life. You got to enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, and it's so funny that you brought that up because today I went to a new skate park and I just felt so out of place. I felt like, what they call a poser. I felt like I wasn't supposed to be there, but after warming up for a little bit, I just let all those thoughts go because it's like, I love skateboarding. You can't tell me how to do it or, whatever the case may be. I'm a part of this culture and I'm here to stay.
See, first and foremost, the farthest thing from a poser is you, Miss Taylor Hollycombs. The farthest thing from a poser. But yeah, with this new generation, and they see people, whether it be like yourself or myself in different endeavors, it's like, all right, it's a representation of the old guard. But it's like, God dang, man, we still got some tricks up our sleeve, and you can learn a thing. What's old is new again, to put it like that, to put it bluntly.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
That's how you have to look at it. And I think that's wonderful because then we move to the DJ side of things. And now I'm very eclectic with my music style. So I'm kind of curious, Miss DJ. You kind of remind me, I'm going to take everybody back to 2000 when Sonique came out with It Feels So Good. Now, Sonique in the music video, she's working at the diner. At night, she's doing her DJ thing, which in actuality, in real life, she is an amazing DJ for those that are fans of her. Hey. But god dang, man, you're like a Sonique in the American style type of deal. What do you think about the DJ side of things? DJ Paulie D, DJ Scribble, Grandmaster Flex, to take it back to MTV Jams with Tyrese. How did you get involved with the whole DJ type of thing, man? That's very cool. Again, multifaceted in the music side of things.
So DJing is something that comes naturally to me. My father, he's a DJ. So I kind of like, even though I didn't grow up with my dad, somehow, some way, I was born with that ear for music. And I just got immersed into it. I actually used to do music. I used to rap. So I was a rapper before I was actually a DJ. And one of my good friends showed me the ropes with DJing. And it, just like skateboarding, there was no turning back. It just became a part of who I am.
Okay, this is a very much increased resume right now. On cosmetology, I used to rap. First and foremost, the fact that you used to rap, you know what it kind of reminds me of? When they did the behind the music on Dr. Dre. And Dr. Dre started with the DJ. You see the picture of him at the turntables. Then he became the amazing rap that he is and the producer. Like, that is just, it's amazing just to see you incorporate the rap and the DJ side of things. That mixes for a lot of great songs. I mean, you look at the likes of MC Lyte. It really works.
Definitely. Even though with my rap career, it was very short lived just because once again, I felt like, I didn't belong or it was like my music was doing really well. People, seemed to vibe with it. But for me, it just wasn't my passion. So I let that go. But like, I feel like the DJ inside, that's more of my passion.
I can respect that. I also look at it from a stance too, where when you look at rap, it's like it's verbal poetry is what it is. It's a story you're using. It's your craft. Then the DJ side of things, I mean, you bring the flavor, to quote Craig David, what's your flavor? You bring the little flavor with the fricky, you know what I'm saying? So you're vibing with people on many different levels, but you're vibing nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to give you once more kudos on the DJ front, man, because also with the professional wrestling side of things, man, super crazy wrestling. We're talking about New Jersey. Northeast, you're a Philly girl. I'm a New York guy. I look at it from a stance, too. The Northeast professional wrestling scene, whether it be the territories, from the Jersey All-Pro Wrestlings, the NWA Cyberspaces, the New York Wrestling Connections, there is so much professional wrestling and hotbeds in the world of the Northeast scene. So I got to ask you about super crazy wrestling because, god dang, man, great training facility, and you were doing your thing over there.
I love super crazy pro wrestling. In the Skid Row Academy, that's our training. That's like what our school is called. So when I was brought into there, it was after a 2-year hiatus. I injured my neck. I thought I was never going to be able to wrestle again. So it felt surreal when I stepped into super crazy pro wrestling, and they've been mentoring me and just showing me the ropes and just making sure that I can be successful one day. And I really appreciate everything that they've been doing for me.
I got to say, first and foremost, the worst injury you can have is anything to do with your neck. So first and foremost, that you're here with us and you're doing the damn thing wrestling, continue to pursue it. I got to give you kudos, man, because like I said, a hiatus and an injury like that, and here you are kicking butt. I got to give you much love, respect, and props for that, Taylor.
Thank you so much. That was such a hard time for me to because it took me a while to come to terms with, hey, I may never wrestle again. Um, but I worked hard in physical therapy to get myself healthy so that I can come back into the wrestling world. And it also took a lot of going to therapy and getting myself mentally strong in order to step back into combat sports.
I gotta say, you're kind of like to make a female neck injury reference. It's like back in 2002 when Lita got hurt on the set of Dark Angel. You know, she hurt her neck, came back in the fall of 2003. I mean, it's a rough road, but like I said, here you are. You're doing your thing from the physical therapy side of things, and now you're back into the squared circle. Again, it's the hand in glove mentality, but also it's God, to put the spiritual side of things. It's God putting you where you need to be, man.
Definitely. It's so crazy that you put it that way because that's exactly how it feels. It feels like I said, it felt surreal when I stepped into Super Crazy Pro Wrestling. It felt like, okay, this is my purpose. I'm supposed to be here. Don't think anything different.
I mean, that's amazing also to put it like that, too, because when it comes to professional wrestling school, I mean, we go all through a lot of schools, but I mean, once you find that right one, because there's a lot of different wrestling schools and how they train and, you know, the overall regimen and everything that goes into it, man. But once you find that right school and you just feel, you know, your environments, the vibes, and your surroundings, it's a beautiful thing, man. And like I said, there's a lot of great training facilities out there, people. So if you want to become a professional wrestler, do your research and find a great facility like Super Crazy Skid Row Academy, man. Because like I said, the sky's the limit from there.
Definitely.
Now, I got to say, as a female on the professional wrestling scene, we have a lot of great talents from WWE, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, NWA, who is going to have their Empower pay-per-view this coming weekend. It's an amazing time for women's wrestling. So I got to ask you, Miss Taylor, being on that one of the forefronts, one of the newcomers, one of the people that are involved in the scene, how does it feel for you just to see how women's wrestling has evolved? And here you are looking to make your mark on that professional wrestling and women's wrestling scene.
I mean, the little 8-year-old girl in me can't believe what's happening in wrestling right now because growing up watching WWE back in the day, even though we had women who paved the way, that made things easier for me, it still felt like there was something missing in the women's professional wrestling back in the day. But now to see women just breaking barriers, it's an amazing thing to see.
It's also amazing because, I mean, from the days of the Fabulous Moolahs and the Mae Youngs and the Joyce Grables and the Medusas and the Bull Nakanos, the Jacquelines, the Sables, the Tories, the Ivories, the Molly Hollies, the Litas, the Trishas, and so many that have come our way to what we have now with so many women such as Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, and so many women like that are really killing it in the game today in professional wrestling. It's amazing just to see the crop that comes up, and this applies to everyone. So I've always appreciated, I mean, you talk about combative sports, Layla Ali, an amazing boxer, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler coming from the MMA world to the professional wrestling. It's systematic dissection and it's joint manipulation, but at the end of the day, it's just women kicking ass and taking names. I'm going to say a lot of you women are outclassing us men when it comes to some professional wrestling and just in general, man. You're giving us a run for your money, and it's amazing to see on all pay-per-views and all shows going forward.
See, now I didn't want to say that, but yes, I absolutely stand by that. I feel like the women are starting to outshine the men, so you men need to step your game up because we're coming for you.
As a professional wrestling fan for over 10 years and as someone who has watched it a lot with his father, I understand how women are absolutely killing. First and foremost, I'm going to say right now, I've seen a lot of intergender wrestling because back in the days in the 80s when you had your Andy Kaufmans as the intergender champion of the world, and it was very comedic, but intergender wrestling's also doing the thing too. So, I mean, hey, man, when you have the influx of women in the talent that you have nowadays, focusing on the talents, focusing on the attributes, and yes, again, the appeal side of things from the sexiness, but god dang, man, just to see women apply their craft, it's a beautiful thing for everybody moving forward in the year 2021 and onward. So, hey, got to give you kudos, man. Even though you're kicking our butts, laying us down for the count, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'll say it. It is what it is. Goodness. Now, with you, I'm going to say this right now because you're also doing your thing. I know you got your OnlyFans going on, and I mentioned the beautiful photo with the green hair, doing your thing. And we talked about the modeling side of things because I got to say, god dang, man, the imagery, right on point. So I got to ask you, ma'am, the LFC side of things. Want to see you on a show. I know you definitely want to get involved. You are a prospect of LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships, competing in LFC Madness, and it was so popular. LFC, I believe, is going to do another Madness tournament. I got to say, from your style and your finesse, from the style points, what are you thinking about lingerie style? When that moment comes to see you on an LFC card, what would you do lingerie-wise? Because there's so many women, besides the fact of the fighting, it's the grandiose entrance. So what are you thinking lingerie style? Spice it up from the overall sex appeal side of things, Taylor.
Ooh, so I've been actually thinking about this, and I don't even know if I want to give these ideas away, but I am such a huge fan of Courtney Love, and I loved how she used to wear kind of like lingerie and nightwear as daywear. So if I can have my seamstress come up with something along those lines, because my seamstress is amazing, maybe something 90s grunge, because I love grunge.
This woman, I immediately smiled when she said Courtney Love. This woman's going down the whole front is what she's doing, man. Courtney Love and all. I like your style. Hey. No, I mean, see, the grunge era, big. And I got to say, first and foremost, the trends, the styles, like you mentioned, the grunge era from, well, Nirvana and Courtney Love and everything that's encompassed in there, it had a lot of great stylings in itself. So I got to say, again, from what's old is new. And for those that don't know grunge, what the hell are you doing? But at the same time, we introduced the grunge world to the newer generations and the auspices. So, hey, man, bring some grunge into LFC.
Oh, when I have the opportunity, you will see it.
I look at it from a stance, too. We had Vita Von Star a couple shows ago at LFC 31 back in Vegas. Man, this girl's like, I'm going to go the goth look. I'm going to do like a death metal type of feel. Beautiful. Because here's the thing. Lingerie is sexy, but if you can add your own twist and flavor to it from different genres and artistic standpoints, you nail it on the head. And it's also one of those things where it's different, unique. You're trying something different,
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I mean,
yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I mean, like, coming from a modeling standpoint, we have to be chameleons. So I'm going to bring something different every single time.
Well, first and foremost, no need to apologize. Ladies first. It's not just a Queen Latifah song. Boom. I'm going to move on to what I was going to say. It's one of those things. I'm going to look at it from a stance, too. Hey, I remember the 1999 MTV Music Awards. I'm talking about Diana Ross and Little Kim. If Little Kim could do what she did with that purple stuff and just her breasts hanging out, and then Donna Ross, you know the scene I'm talking about. Hey,
yeah,
you're creating moments.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it fits. So, yes, I definitely look forward to seeing what you come up with for a future LFC event. And I definitely look forward to seeing what you're doing in professional wrestling, man, because we have people like Felicia Dior, yourself. Oh, my goodness gracious. Luscious Latasha, who's done her thing in Shine and all over the independent wrestling circuit. It was great to see so many different people of all facets of life in the LFC Madness. And it's great to see you, Taylor, just keeping on with what you're doing. So I'm going to say right here, I truly wish you nothing but love, happiness, and continued success, my friend.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And thank you for having me on your podcast.
You are very welcome. I got to say, we will definitely do this again. Before we even close this out, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans, let everybody know where we can follow you on all forms of social media. The floor is yours.
Okay, so my Instagram is at Taylor Holly Combs, all one word, no caps. My Twitter is at THC Badlands. And then my OnlyFans is onlyfans.com/Taylor Holly's World.
I gotta say, first and foremost, we got to enter into that world, man, because you've now seen her on OnlyFans and the photos and everything that she provides. It's a great follow on the OnlyFans side of things. You're kicking booty on the OnlyFans. I got to put that over because there's a lot of great content and interaction on that site.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Now, I'm going to say this right now, Miss DJ. I forgot one other mention. It's going to bug me because, again, the pop culture nerd. You like Jeanne? Hey, Mr. DJ, we can get this party started. Hey, take it back to the 90s with that Jeanne feel is what you got there, Taylor. I had to put that over, Miss DJ.
Thank you.
So my final words, as always with the show, guys, beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Miss Taylor Holly Combs, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.